Yeah, Jitin, Jitin Yadav, we have very brilliant and very energetic IAS officer with us. So he is well known to the community of civil servants, aspirants rather. So in this part of interaction, so we'll talk to Jitin and know how he has approached civil services, his exam and all. We'll just learn from him how he started this journey, how he prepared. So what are some of his guidelines or guidance for students who are getting into the act? So Jitin, over to you. How you approached it, the exam?
Uh, so when I was working in corporate sector, I never started preparation at that point of time. So I started from scratch only after resigning from the service. Uh, at that time, initially it was tough. I would say a couple of months, suddenly after a gap of 3 years after college, not into, that grip over the studies, that reading habits were not there, attention span was not there, that concentration, focus, everything was missing initially. So it took me 1 or 2 months, just like normally it happens with all the aspirants, to get into those habits which are required as per the exam. I started changing myself, which is as per the requirement of the preparation. And slowly, I felt after a month or so, things making started making sense. Uh, One thing which was there throughout the time, there were doubts, but those doubts, I didn't stop because of the doubts. I kept on, continuing my preparation even when doubts were there, and during the course of the preparation only those doubts were automatically corrected, because this is something which I noticed recently in the past couple of years, that many aspirants, they keep on waiting, what to do. And because of that process, a lot of time is wasted. There could be a possibility that to most of our doubts we get the answers, but there are certain doubts where we don't get the answers also. Fortunately, because of social media, and like sir, how you are starting this platform on YouTube channel, these sort of things were not available, let's say I would say 7 8 years back. That presence of officers has increased tremendously on social media, which is a good thing for aspirants. So all we had was, like, we had a small group, we used to discuss, brainstorm, and we used to come out with the conclusion. uh, so one thing which helped me was the consistency. Yes, sir, as normally all the aspirants face the ups and downs. I always, learned during the preparation that it's how important it is to manage our down period, because when we are demotivated, we are sitting in a room throughout the day, and sometimes we get, feel, what am I doing here? Whether is this the right place for me or not? Is UPSC meant for me or not? Probably I can do something else in life. All those things started coming to my head. At that point, I realized that I'll not make a decision when I'm demotivated. So when I'm motivated, then I'll probably take a decision. And then there's just consistency. Fortunately, I cleared the exam in my first attempt only. I got selected into Railway Protection Force. Then in the second attempt, I could not clear the prelims. I felt I was a bit overconfident. I took it lightly, because in the first attempt, I thought I reached the interview stage, so prelims could be a cakewalk. But then again, I missed the cutoff by a couple of marks. And then at that point of time, I understood that I cannot take this exam lightly. At that point, I realized that I have understood the basic facets of the exam. All I have to do is put in the right amount of hard work. And if I keep hovering near the cutoff, so probably 1 year I'll clear the cutoff, and next year probably I won't be able to clear the cutoff. Then I assured that my strategy should be as such, if I'm scoring 10 marks above the cutoff. So I prepared with that thing in mind in the third attempt, and I got exactly 10 marks above the cutoff. Cutoff was close to 106 or 7, and my score was around 116, 17. And one important thing in the last attempt was, in all these years, my number of resources of preparation has reduced over time. So initially in the first attempt, I was picking up so many things. I can do this, I can do that. But when I became more mature with respect to the preparation, I became a mature aspirant. Then I realized that it's not necessary to read n number of things. It's better to read limited number of things, do necessary revisions, so that we retain as much as possible during the exam. So this risk and reward ratio, that risk is the amount of time we are giving to a topic, and the reward is the amount of questions it will fetch me. That I maintained everywhere. And then I became more practical with respect to the exam rather than being emotional that, if I'm sitting for 10 hours a day, what is the output I'm getting? If that is sure with me, then sir, I'll go ahead with it. That helped me a lot during my preparation.
See, it's a very interesting. You said that the type of exam it has become now that you got selected, and next year again you had the shock of not clearing. It's happening
Yes,
to
sir.
some people, students we interact. So it's a reality, isn't it? That you can't take the exam. There is no guarantee that once you have cleared main and appeared for interview next year again, there is no guarantee that you will be on the same page. The plenary also can be a shocker. So the
Yes, sir.
alertness has to be there throughout.
Yes,
That's
sir.
what
The
that's what
moment
you are learning, I think.
So the moment we start taking things for granted, that's the time when this exam will kick us. So I always felt, we can never take things for granted. It's like I remember I watched few videos online, and one of a selected candidate clearly mentioned that irrespective whether we are selected or not, the preparation should be continuous. It's not that after writing mains I'll take a gap of couple of months, or probably let's say after interview I will not study. So gap should be minimum, probably let's say few days, could be a week also, but the preparation should be continuous. We should not be dependent whether the exam is over and then we'll take some rest, because that is the time when most of the aspirants are not studying. We can convert those weaker topics into our strengths. That is something I feel as aspirants, if we learn that it is a continuous journey, we can't stop in midway. We can't just study for 2 months before the prelims, or let's say 1 month before the mains, and then we feel that, okay, I'll be selected. I said this exam requires continuous effort.
Yeah, it's very well said. And also, students coming from rural areas and different backgrounds. Uh, Not everybody is from town or city, but the social media and the access to information is so good now. So there is almost like it's a level playing field, isn't it? There is no disadvantage as such. What do you say? I feel so that hardly any disadvantage for people coming from a rural background today.
Sir, all we need is a good internet connection, and rest everything is at our fingerstep. So if I see that, what has changed in the, sir, you must have noticed when you wrote the exam, probably this much access to information was not there.
It was not there. It
The
was not. Mm.
only thing that was possible was going to Delhi. That is one place where some people will be there who will teach us something. That's how the advent of coaching industry started. Uh, Even today, sir, when I see the dependency is there, but aspirants are not realizing that it is consuming time also. So when we talk about coaching industry, so one is the financial aspect, that we pay lakh of rupees and they give us classes and all those things. The thing we lose out here is time, which is more important than money also. Because if let's say someone is teaching me history in 30 days, and if I can do that on my own in 15 days, those 15 days which saved can help me a lot in my preparation, because the exam has become competitive, resources have become more diverse. Like current affairs has started playing more role recently in the last few years as compared to the previous years. So we have to invest more time into the diverse topics also. I feel gone are the days when static portion was dominant. I think now it has been become equally balanced. Static portion is also important, non-static portion is also important. So when it comes to time, I feel in the initial first attempt, if I'm going for coaching, probably I won't be able to clear the exam, because coaching is consuming the entire time. I'm not able to do self-study. In that way, self-study is more better, because everything is available. All we need is a clarity, which most of the aspirants, when I interact with them in today's time, they join coaching. After within couple of months, they realize, yes, this is something we can do on our own also. There is no some rocket science in this. There's the same history. Yes, there could be certain topics which are difficult to understand, but sir, then there are multiple sources also available. So let's say if I'm studying polity, I'm not able to understand a topic. Who said he only I have to study from one book only? I can watch a YouTube video, I can watch some other article, I can pick up any other source as per my suitability. So if that flexibility is there, I say we can prepare anywhere from the country.
Well said. Actually, it's up to the individual how he looks at it. But coaching definitely takes time, and also the financial cost. Not everybody may not be able to do that. And also finding a place to stay in Delhi or a place like Hyderabad or somewhere, you will go there, you will find a place to stay. First, you have to secure yourself, then again study. So these are all like, it impacts the overall preparation also, perhaps. I don't know, it depends
Yes, sir.
upon the individual. But you need, it may be, in your case, you had a group of friends to motivate yourself, or you are on your own?
So, we were three together, and fortunately, all three of us cleared the exam. And the good part was we were such good friends that we never judged each other. So
You never? You never? Sorry?
we never we never judged each other. So what happens when we prepare together is, let's say two friends are preparing together, they start judging themselves, like, I'm better, you're not good. Something of those sort of competitive spirit is there. Fortunately, between three of us, nothing of that sort happened, and we always used to help each other. We had this thing in mind that, when I was preparing for UPSC, I realized apart from these two three people, I will not make new friends. We had acquaintances, but not, a friend circle. We had just a group of three. We used to study together. We used to share notes together. And fortunately, sir, all three of us cleared the exam.
That's great. That's great. So you were never a competition for each other. Three of you were not feeling competition to each one of you, the other person,
Sir,
no?
we felt that these bondings are much more beyond this exam. We are so good, and like we have now family relations with everyone. Our families also know us very well. And let's say, so my strength was answer writing. I was good at writing, and that friend of mine, he was good in remembering facts and figures. So he used to teach me those things, and I used to teach him those things. In that way, we used to improve together. So even when it came to notes making, so let's say, sir, for current affairs, there used to be monthly booklets. So we used to divide the booklet into two, three parts, and we used to give it to each other. So like, let's say 50 pages that person will do, 50% other person will do. And the moment those current affairs are finished, then we'll share the notes with each other. Our time used to be for that particular topic reduced by 50% or 33%. In that way, we used to, sir, get some spare time for enjoyment also, and we used to study together also.
That is fantastic. Actually, you also, perhaps as an individual, when we feel, as you said in the beginning, that we feel low, sometimes it's very difficult to keep your motivation up. So the group of friends perhaps keep it up, isn't it? Like
Yes,
you get motivated, the other fellow will cheer you up, saying that no, theek hai, all will be well. Right? The exam takes heavy toll on our time, psychological preparation. I think the group, I think, must have helped you a lot. It seems.
so more than the exam, I feel it's the pressure of the society which is more challenging. And if one is able to tackle that, then I feel the exam is not that big a deal. I've talked to many aspirants. They are more, stressful and stressed because of the exam, and they're not focused into preparation because of that. Because we always feel, let's say if my result is negative, what others will think. So our entire focus will be on that. So rather than, it should be like what we feel about ourselves. So that thing, sir, was there initially in me, that since beginning I was sure that if I want to clear the exam, it will be for me only, and if I don't clear the exam, it will be for me only. It's and all I have to do is give my 100%. So, sir, I always, when I talk to aspirants, I keep telling them, we have input and output. Our job is to focus on the input. Output is something which is not under our control. So if we keep on focusing on input, there is a chance that we can actually change the output. So input is the way we study, our learning styles and memory styles, how we take small breaks, how we manage ourselves when we are demotivated, how we are supposed to see everything as a puzzle. The moment we start giving up and starting becoming dependent on others, then our strategy will fail at the end of the day. In that way, I always felt it's just an exam, just like we give any other exam. Pressure of society was huge. My relatives, fortunately, my family never, questioned my dedication. They were sure that, he resigned from a good job. If he's trying something, probably he'll be, giving his more than 100%. If it happens, happens, and if it doesn't happen, doesn't happen. So I had this thing in mind that I'll give 2 to 3 years to UPSC, and if I don't clear, probably I'll do something else because something else is written for me. I gave my best, and even if I don't qualify for UPSC, then I'm not meant for this, which is a very probability wise, sir, it can happen, and it happens with a lot of aspirants. So just because I cleared the exam in the first attempt, then I realized that, I'm so close, and have gathered all the small nuances of the exam. But at that time, sir, my name was in the reserve list. So then when I wrote the next exam, I couldn't clear prelim, but then I understood that I'm so close to the exam. If I just change some certain things here and there, then there could be a possibility that I might get into IAS, IPS, or IRS.
Jitin, I will tell my story that first time I also went to the interview. I cleared preliminary, I cleared main. I went to the interview because we come from a village, rural background. There's not many those days. Those who have written the exam, etc. Everybody thought, yes, ladka to ho hi gaya, to IAS ban gaya. So then when the result came, my name was not there, but I didn't even qualify. So I was not there in any service. Then reality bites. So then again you recoup yourself, because those days actually the preliminary was hardly 3 days gap we had. Result today, and in 3 days we had the preliminary. So there is no time to feel low also. Then get up, get ready, and give the prelim. So that's it. But as you said, so that also gives you confidence that yes, it is in the striking range. That gives you immense confidence. Then I said enough is enough. Then I took leave from bank, and I could clear that. So the mental preparation is also very important, I think, as you said very rightly. तो मैं तो बोलूँगा भूल जाओ, relatives को मत बोलो, तुम civil service लिख रहे हो. Perhaps this may be a better chance that why invite trouble and stress from others. Just coming back to that, Jitin, so मैं सोच रहा था 5 लाख लोग करीब लिखते हैं, 4.5-5 लाख आजकल तो सिविल सर्विस प्रिलिमिनरी लिख रहे हैं. तो मुझे, though I am an IAS officer, but still I feel, तो how do, let's say 700-800 लोग या 800 या 1000 लोग होते हैं, तो that is the range. तो बाकी लोगों को क्या होगा? माने ऐसे 4.5 में तो 5 लाख में let us say 50% of them writing very seriously. So even then 2.5-3 लाख तो they are spending their time, 1 साल 2 साल 3 साल कभी किसी का लग जाता है. तो उनको हम लोग क्या बोलें? माने कैसा इसको, माने how do you answer this? इसको माने हम लोग कैसा बोलें कैसे?
So just like we try anything in life, we invest a certain time period. This exam is very similar to that. If let's say I'm working somewhere and I want to write UPSC exam, and I can make a plan out of it that I'll invest, let's say, a couple of years, and then either I can take a job or do something of my own. Yes, the odds are against us. When we calculate these figures boils down to less than 1%. In fact, the chances of clearing the exam are actually negligible. But even then, we prepare for it. So that's a motivation. I feel that is one thing which keeps us moving, because when we know that chances are less, but still we can convert this exam. So second is, so that confidence is more important. One of my school teacher used to tell us, like, our confidence should be derived from our talent, rather than something which is attached to us. It should not be a college, it should not be a service. Rather, our confidence should be driven from the talent we carry. So wherever we are, if we are talented, probably, let's say, if I'm not able to do well at one place, I will be able to do well at other place, because I feel that the skill set and those things which I carry with me, those things will help me a lot. And this is something which UPSC also empowers us. So, sir, we can see a lot of coaching institutes have flourished, because who are these people? These are those people who could not clear the exam. A lot of people have gone into entrepreneurship also. Coaching is also entrepreneurship. There are people who started their own business. There are people who ventured into studies also. So, sir, just like we invest, let's say if I'm starting a business, probably I'll be investing something time and amount of money also. Similarly, sir, it's with UPSC. Problem comes the attachment to it. Some people, they get stuck to this exam for such a long period of time that they can't see their life apart from it. So that's where the problem starts. So when I started the preparation, I was very pragmatic about this. I'll invest my 2-3 years of life. If probably, let's say, 4 years of life, I had that thing in my mind, and then I was all ready to move on also if I'm not able to clear. Because yes, obviously I'll feel dejected. I will not feel good because I could not clear something which I aimed for. That will be that will be seen as failure from the society as well. But I know, sir, if I start something new, that initial turbulence phase will be difficult. But if I'm dedicated and hard work, if I show a similar level of dedication which I showed in UPSC, I will definitely do well in life.
So can I say that at the back of your mind, you had plan B, because being the nature of exam is a little bit of unexpected results are there. So you had a plan B, mentally at least, that if, as you said, 3-4 years hence, if things don't work out, I have certain things to go forward. I will do this, I will do that. You had that thinking? Well, this is
Yes,
a
sir.
question the youth have to face it, because now I strongly believe that at the back of their mind, they should have some clarity that being the exam the way it is, there are shocks, there will be. So then you have your mental preparation, be ready that you are giving your best shot, you are doing well. So, but in case if it doesn't happen, as you said, but I have other things lined up, mentally at least. Is it so?
Yes, sir. So basically, sir, plan B aspirants see it in two aspects. One is simultaneously that they simultaneously prepare for different things. And if UPSC happens, they go with it. And if it doesn't happen, they'll go with others. Some people like me, sir, they have plan B, but obviously not for those 2-3 years. Like I was sure that for these 2-3 years, I will be fully dedicated to UPSC. My plan B comes into picture after that, post UPSC. So yes, I had plan B in mind, but in those initial years of my UPSC preparation, I will not, disturb myself with plan B. I know, sir, and at the same time, this is where, sir, our skill set comes into picture. Like I've seen a lot of aspirants taking their graduation subject as optional subject. They even after 10th class, they orient themselves toward UPSC exam, which I always tell them that it is not advisable to do so. It should be on the basis of the interests we have, because if those interests are long lasting, UPSC exam, if I don't clear the exam, then what will happen? So that's where our education background, the kind of studies and skill set we have developed before the exam, those things only will help us later on after the exam if we don't qualify. So I had passion for teaching. I worked in corporate sector. This was something which happened before UPSC, and that same corporate background, same skill set. If I don't clear UPSC, would have helped me later on to do something else. Obviously, that initial 6 months to 8 months or probably 1 year will be difficult, to establish myself. But just like in UPSC also, when we start preparation, that underconfidence is always there. So it will take some time, but that skill set we have developed since school, that will help us a lot later on.
Thank you. You can very well clarify this point. Just a few lines, a few moments. I think my belief has been that the writing skills and the how do you write, that's very important. The expression is ultimately what the examiner will look at it, isn't it? You may have huge fund of knowledge, you may be a scholar, but sometimes in the exam it doesn't help unless you are clear in what you are writing. I think this practice of writing is very important for this exam.
Sir, the way mains is happening these days, it has more become, driven by answer writing skills. I've seen people studying less amount of content and doing really well with respect to mains exam just because they had good writing skills. Initially, sir, that doubt is there. Coming from a science background, we don't write much. It was more related to theories and those sort of things. But the moment I started writing for UPSC, I wrote a test series, and then I got a very good response. That the evaluator used to love my answers. That was the first hurdle I passed, and then, sir, then all I had to do was manage my time. How many questions to be attempted in 1 hour so that I can finish the paper in 3 hours, and keep on improving, because sir, one side is what we are writing, and other side is what the evaluator will see. So these two sides should be balanced. Like one is writing and one is showing that you know information. There could be a possibility, as you just said, sir, that, I have all the content in mind, but I'm not able to present well. But the checker has no idea what the kind of information I gather in my brain. He will only look at my answer script. So, the presentation, how we organize our answers so that our content becomes more visible rather than writing in such form that our content is hidden. Many times that, we have to look for good points in the answers. That should not be the case. We have to make a balance of quantity over quality, that if they are giving 3 pages for an answer, it should not be that we finish the answer in 1.5 page. Otherwise, because the general psychological view is, if you leave the blank pages, the checker might feel that you have written less. So it's a balance of quality over quantity also. So sir, in mains, I feel answer writing should be given proper time, which I feel 90% of the aspirants don't do, which they suffer in mains because they feel they are weak in this aspect and they keep on procrastinating.
But answer writing cannot happen overnight also. So they need to invest time. I think the preparation, I think they should keep in mind while even preparing for preliminary also, to take some subject and keep writing, so that at least by writing only you will improve, and show it to your friend or your teacher or somebody, evaluate, then get some feedback, how the other person is reading your answer, isn't it? So the examiner will not have time or inclination to discover what the great things you have hidden in your answers. That doesn't happen. I always sometimes advise aspirants whom we talk to, saying that what you write should be visible and clear to the examiner, because he may not have the time and inclination to discover in your answers what are the great things inside hidden. So it doesn't happen. So I think, and also the writing, whatever the improvement in writing quality doesn't happen overnight. You can't say that after preliminary I will start doing this. It doesn't happen that way. I think if you are taking, say, about a year time for civil services, it's better that from the beginning itself you start writing answers and improve your writing skills. What do you say, Jitin?
Sir, definitely, you are absolutely right, sir. Writing, sir, initially we can start with a daily diary also. So I used to write daily diary. So before sleeping, I'll write for 5-10 minutes how my days went by. And then slowly, I started organizing my thoughts. So I always felt writing is basically what we are thinking and how we are able to present it on a piece of paper. Are the thoughts we are having and the writing we wrote on the paper are same or not? If that is happening in a clear and crisp manner without using some fancy words or English vocabulary, the level should be closer to 10 standard level. That is more than enough with writing. So that fear is there because aspirants feel that because of we have to write for 3 hours. What we are supposed to write, they have no. Sometimes they are scared of that. The moment they start reading the question, they'll take 2-3 minutes thinking about how will they start the answer. So that is something can be covered up when we prepare for this exam in our room. So let's say if you're writing for 30 minutes in a day, that initial turbulence period can be taken care of. So slowly. So let's say if I wrote something on 1st of February and I keep on writing for 30 minutes or 45 minutes every day, definitely after a month, what I'll write will be a better version of my previous version. So that slowly the improvement takes place, and so finally what we will write in mains, that will be our best version. Best version could not be probably of all the aspirants, at least my best version will come out in mains.
Excellent. So you said it. And also some people in the beginning itself will ask about about the interview and all. So we jokingly tell them that go through the first 2 levels. The interview will take care of itself. There is nothing much to prepare for interview, except for those few days. You keep yourself ready with what's happening around. You read the news, you follow things, events, and also have clarity, isn't it? So I think there is not much left for interview preparation per se, except for the confidence and also maybe 1 or 2 mock interviews to keep you ready. So you had you went through some mock interviews?
No, sir, I didn't go for mock interviews because first time I didn't go because there was less time, and second time when I went for the interview, I was under as trainee in Baroda, National Academy of Indian Railways. but because of paucity of time, I could not get leaves. So I just got some, few days leave before during the main interview. But I couldn't get the opportunity to give mocks.
But interview, how do you look at just a couple of lines about it? Like, is there any serious preparation required for interview?
They have the DAF in their hand when they take the interview. So all the things which we have filled in DAF, they expect us to be aware of that. So let's say if I'm writing, I like watching movies or watching cricket. It could be related to my optional subject also, psychology. It could be related to my graduation subject also. We should have at least some basic sense of things. Problem is we have those basic sense of things. Problems comes with the confidence of speaking, because we start imagining. Let's say I prepared for physics during my graduation, and we start imagining that they can ask me anything in physics. Yes, they can ask me anything in physics, but the problem is, who said that we are supposed to answer all the questions? There are ways to say no also. That is something I didn't know during my first interview. I was scared of saying no. But during time I became more mature, and then after that first interview, I understood it's a normal, simple discussion type of platform. Just like when we're sitting in a bogie of train and we are interacting with some senior people. When I went second time during the interview, content-wise, I would say my content was better in first interview, but in second time, my confidence was high. Because of that confidence, I got better marks in second interview. The content they've already checked in mains. They obviously the manifestations of the answers via that mechanism they check our confidence level, how well we tackle the issues. Probably they put us in pressure situation, and then they'll see how Jitin will react. If we have those basic understandings, then we keep our confidence high and we can comfortably say no, that I don't know this answer, sorry for that, and then I feel that we are okay with the interview.
I tell you a joke. In my interview, they asked me something about some quote from English literature. So it should have been forthright saying that, sorry, sir, I don't know. So that much I said, but I also said, sir, it's many years that I read it. So immediately the examiner said, I read it 40 years back, my friend. So I regret this answer years later also. So I should have been, I should have stopped there. When I said that, sorry, sir, I don't know. So that would have ended the answer. But I added, I don't know why it just came out. So I regret it years later also. So, but I had to listen to that. I don't know whether I could have scored a few marks more in interview because of that one line. But it's always good that we admit if what you know, what you don't know. You are not expected to know everything, but how you present yourself and how you, I think, handle situation. I think that's more important in interviews. So thank
exactly,
you,
sir. Because, sir.
Yeah, Jitin, you were saying something.
So because if we see that's a 25 to 30 minutes they take interview.
Yeah.
And if you have clarity about our personality, the way we are speaking, then I feel they will be in a better situation to judge us rather than telling those things which we are not sure of. So because they will be, sitting since morning to evening, taking a number of interviews. They only get 20 to 25 minutes to judge a person on the basis of those personality traits. If we put in clarity in our thoughts and in our presentation, then they will judge us better, rather than we end up saying something else, or in a dubious manner, in which we will make an image of ourselves which we are not.
Correct.
So that is why, so if I don't know anything and if I say that I don't know this, they will understand me in a better manner as compared to a person who will give them some other answer which is not right.
Exactly.
Sir.
Thank you, Jitin. That was excellent interaction with you. So we could speak our minds. So young officer, how he looks at things, both at the service and also the preparation. So I think this interaction will be very handy for our viewers. A lot of aspirants who look forward to Jitin Yadav. You are already an icon for the civil services aspirants. So they look to you. So it's amazing that you have clarified a lot of things as an young officer. So fantastic Thank you, Jitin. So I thank your time also, and also it will be very helpful to civil services aspirants. Thank you, Jitin. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. I want to tell all the viewers also that sir is handling one of the most busiest department of the state, Panchayat and Rural Development Department, and despite that, sir has taken out time from his busy schedule and helping out aspirants. Not many senior officers do that. I can honestly tell you, when it comes to helping out aspirants, mostly we see sir junior officers. I think you must be aware of that. But sir, it's very commendable the way you have taken out time and doing this. Even for a junior officer like me, it's really motivational. And sir, I'll use this platform to tell my all the aspirant friends that sir, I've written a book on UPSC preparation. It is on the final stage now. And just like sir, we are interacting. I've been interacting with aspirants for the past 7-8 years now, since beginning when I started preparation. I tried converting each and everything in the form of chapters, and which includes the solutions to those doubts. So I hope the readers will enjoy reading it, and probably had I got the opportunity when I was preparing, it could have saved my couple of years. So I've tried putting all the doubts of the aspirants at a single place. So definitely, sir, I'll share one copy with you also. So, and thank you so much for the opportunity. So for the first, I think this is the first episode of the YouTube channel, and I'm consider myself fortunate to be part of it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jitin. We look forward to your book. In fact, even that will give rare insights. That will be that will be handbook for preparation of civil services, perhaps. Thank you, Jitin. Thank you. All the best. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.